African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of April 13, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Belgorod direction inflicted losses on formations of 2 mechanized brigades, a coastal defense brigade of the Ukrainian armed forces and 4 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Turia, Mariupolskoye, Novodmitrovka, Prokody, and Petrashevka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkov direction, the manpower and equipment of the Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Territorial Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Karasevka and Shuby in the Kharkov region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 90 servicemen, an infantry fighting vehicle, an armored personnel carrier, a car, 3 field artillery pieces, a Croatian-made 128mm RAK SA-12 multiple launch rocket system, a counter-battery radar station, and an electronic warfare station. 3 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the West Group of Forces have taken up more advantageous lines and positions. Formations of 5 mechanized, assault, and ranger brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and 2 territorial defense brigades have been defeated in the areas of the settlements of Kupiansk, Radkovka, Petropavlovka, Borovaya, Novaya Krybliakivka, Novoye-Gorovka in the Kharkov region, Redkadub, Yampol, Kirovsk in the Donetsk People's Republic and Serebryanskoye Forestry that the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 260 servicemen, 7 pickup trucks and 7 artillery pieces. 3 electronic warfare stations Zakist and Kvertis were destroyed, as well as an ammunition depot. Units of the Southern Group of Forces improved their tactical position. Manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized, airmobile brigades, a regiment of unmanned aerial systems of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, a National Guard brigade and the Special Forces Brigade Azov were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Dranovka, Novaya Poltavka, Zarya, Kalinovo, Chasov Yar, Kleben Byk, and Katarinivka of the Donetsk People's Republic that the enemy lost up to 295 servicemen, 17 vehicles and 3 field artillery guns. An ammunition depot and a fuel depot were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces, as a result of active and decisive actions, liberated the settlement of Elizavetovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. Formations of 4 mechanized brigades, an assault and ranger brigade, a brigade of unmanned systems, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a marine brigade, and 3 brigades of the National Guard were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Novoekonomichesko, Zvarivo, Kadlino, Udaknoy, Alexievka, Novopavlovka, Krasnoarmysk, Novosergeyevka, Myrylyabovka, and Preobrazhenka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost more than 435 servicemen, 2 Cossack combat armored vehicles, 7 pickups, and 8 field artillery pieces, including the U.S.-made 155mm Paladin self-propelled artillery unit. Units of the East Group of Forces continue to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense. The manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, and 3 territorial defense brigades were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Bogodar, Novopol, Alexandrograd, Karl Marx, Berlitskoye, Shevchenko, Otradnoy of the Donetsk People's Republic, Filia of the Dnipropetrovsk region and Guliapol of the Zaporizhzhya region that the Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 130 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, a car, and 2 field artillery pieces, including a Polish-made 155mm Krab self-propelled artillery unit. An electronic warfare station was destroyed. Units of the Dnepr Group of Forces have taken up more advantageous lines and positions. Defeat has been inflicted on formations of 3 mechanized, mountain assault brigades, and 2 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces in the areas of the settlements of Novodanilovka, Pavlovka, Novoandrievka in the Zaporizhzhya region, Sadovo, Nikolskoye, and Antonovka in the Kherson region, down up to 70 servicemen, an infantry fighting vehicle, 5 vehicles, and 2 ammunition depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the groups of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation damaged the infrastructure of a military airfield, a storage site for weapons and ammunition of the Ukrainian armed forces, a training center for operators of unmanned aerial vehicles, a location for the deployment of operational tactical missiles, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and mercenaries in the 141st District. Air defense systems shot down an F-16 aircraft of the Ukrainian Air Force, 8 JDAM guided aerial bombs, and 7 rockets of the U.S.-made HIMARS multiple launch rocket system, as well as 207 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 661 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 51,335 unmanned aerial vehicles, 601 anti-aircraft missile system, 22,817 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,535 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 23,556 field artillery pieces and mortars, 34,048 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.